I'm Audrey Miller, a single mom to Leo, who is 10. My husband, Ryan, died in an accident 5 years ago. This morning, I'm standing in the kitchen, a gravy stain still on my shirt. The holiday has passed, but the echo of yesterday's bomb doesn't quiet down. 40 guests packed into my parents' living room for Thanksgiving. And then my brother, Ethan Brooks, stood up, pointed straight at Leo, and declared, "That kid doesn't belong here. He's my sister's bastard." The room froze. Then Leo dropped his glass of lemonade, climbed onto the sofa, and looked his uncle right in the eyes. "Uncle Ethan, can I tell everyone the secret you made me keep?" My brother's face went white as chalk. A bottle of beer slipped, crashing loudly on the hardwood floor. 40 people were paralyzed. What my 10-year-old son said next exposed a lie buried for decades, and it had nothing to do with Leo's birth. If you're hooked by stories of family betrayal, child's bravery, and long-buried secrets, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay with us, because the real drama is just beginning. 3 months before that Thanksgiving, Leo and I were dragged to my parents' house every Sunday. Ethan Brooks' SUV again blocked the mailbox. Noah's sneakers, he's about 10, flashed inside. He was clutching a still-sealed drone. Skylar, Ethan's 6-year-old daughter, toddled behind in a velvet dress with a price tag dangling. Ethan entered like a showpiece, swinging bags. "Dad, Mom, feast your eyes on our hauls." George Brooks' grandpa ruffled Noah's hair. True Brooks material. Eleanor Brooks' grandma scooped up Skylar, twirling her. My sparkling granddaughter. The living room table sagged under Lego sets, a shiny backpack, and sneakers that lit up with every step. I guided Leo toward the sofa. He tugged my sleeve. "Mom, am I getting something too?" Ethan cut me off before I could answer. "Raising a kid alone keeps you sharp, right, Audrey?" George snorted. Eleanor adjusted Skylar's bow. Leo tried louder. "Uncle Ethan, is there anything for me?" Ethan looked up from his phone. "Talk to your mom about wish lists." Noah's drone buzzed, zooming low over Leo's head. My son flinched. In the kitchen, Grandma Helen, my late father's mother, living with my parents after his death, wiped flour from her hands and beckoned me over. She spoke quietly. "Don't mind them. Leo is our family." She subtly slipped a fresh cookie to Leo when he wandered in. He bit into it, his eyes shining. Back in the living room, George handed Noah a 20 for video games, another to Skylar, Princess Dollface. Leo watched the money disappear into pockets. He got no bill. A new frame appeared on the mantelpiece. Noah, smiling, with a soccer medal. Next to it, Skylar in a tutu under stage lights. Leo's face was still absent from the shelf. Dinner seating was strategic. George served Noah the biggest chicken leg. A future quarterback needs protein. Skylar got the second. Leo a thigh and a casual shrug. Football roared on the TV. Noah sprawled in the armchair, sneakers on the armrest. Skylar snuggled against Eleanor, flipping through cartoons on her new tablet. Leo sat cross-legged on the rug, rolling a stray marble. The next weekend passed with minor changes. Ethan brought a skateboard for Noah, rollerblades for Skylar. George coached the ollie on the driveway. Eleanor filmed Skylar's skating for social media. Leo asked for a skateboard. Ethan brushed him off, safety first. Grow up. The fridge decor changed again. Noah's honor roll, Skylar's finger painting masterpiece. Leo's drawings stayed home. Sunday goodbyes included money rituals. George slipped 20s into Noah's palm. Invest in fun. The same for Skylar. Treat yourself. Leo got a pat on the back. At one sunny barbecue, neighbors admired the smoker. Noah flipped burgers with oversized tongs. Skylar handed out napkins in a chef's hat. Leo caught fireflies by the hedge. I sipped iced tea, counting the cracks in the tiles. Grandma Helen materialized again. They're blind to what matters. Keep Leo close. She vanished to refill the pitchers. By the 7th visit, Leo brought coloring books. He drew quietly while Noah dominated Mario Kart. Ethan boasted about Noah's elite swim lessons. George beamed. Eleanor clapped. I bit my tongue not to mention Leo's perfect report card. I shortened our visits, arriving late, leaving early. Grandma Helen texted midweek, "Save the brownie edges for Leo." Little anchors in a sea of indifference. The favoritism solidified. Frames filled the shelf. Allowance sums ballooned. Compliments were directed only at 2 children. Leo got used to invisibility. I hardened my heart. 2 weeks before the dinner, Ethan showed up unannounced. He leaned against the doorframe, balancing a long box. Alpha, 3 Estes, $200. Leo's face appeared by my knee, mouth open. Ethan nudged the box inside. Figured the guy could use a real hobby. Keep his hands busy. His smile seemed rehearsed. I blocked the hallway. "You drove 40 minutes for a science project? Quality time with Uncle. Let's build it in the backyard." Leo shot forward, pushing chairs aside. Ethan ripped the cardboard. Thin fragments scattered like puzzle pieces. Leo sorted the decals by color. I stood by the door, arms crossed. Ethan inserted the engine into the tube body. "Hold steady here, Leo." My son held the rocket motionless, like a surgeon. Ethan threaded the parachute cord. "College," he muttered. "I knew a guy, Matt. Rocket nerd. We were competing for the same scholarship." He snapped a fin in place. I told him to back off, slipped him $50 and said, "Get lost." Leo's eyes darted up. Ethan shrugged. 3 months later, bam. Truck didn't stop. He forced a laugh. "Ancient history. Just between us, okay?" Leo nodded, solemnly. They finished in silence. The rocket stood tall, red with white decals. "Perfect." Ethan slipped spare engines into his pocket. "We'll launch when the wind dies down. Safety first." Leo hugged the launch controller like it was crystal. My phone vibrated. "Grandma Helen." I stepped aside. "He's here," I whispered. Her voice was sharp. "Careful. He's up to something." The line dropped. Ethan gathered the trash. "Tell Mom the cookies were spot on last Sunday." He winked at Leo. Not a word about old stories. Leo mimed zipping his lips. A motor hummed. "Dustspon." Ethan drove off. Leo carried the rocket to his room, leaning it against the wall like a sentry. He studied the instructions every night, highlighting altitude graphs. I watched from the doorway. Grandma Helen's warning unsettled me. The next morning, Leo checked the igniter clip with a battery. A tiny spark, a huge smile. He labeled a shoebox, launch gear, stuffing cotton for the parachute. Ethan texted. Leo begged to reply. I allowed it. 3 days later, Leo built a plywood launch pad in the garage. He measured angles with a protractor, drilling guide holes. Sawdust coated his hair like snow. Ethan video called mid-work. "You look like NASA material, buddy. Save the countdown for Thanksgiving." Grandma Helen called again on Thursday. Eleanor says he's calling it Operation Nephew. Read the fine print. I promised. Leo practiced the sequence on the driveway.
Terminus center.
Ignition. He used a stick for the controller. Neighbors waved, amused. I locked the gate when it got dark. The rocket stood guard in Leo's room corner. A silent promise. He asked once before bed, "Was Matt real?" I stroked his hair. "Some stories stay locked up." He accepted it, falling asleep. A countdown calendar appeared on the fridge, a hand-drawn turkey with X's leading to the big day. Ethan sent a voice message. "Don't forget the safety goggles. It's going to be a show." Leo replayed it 5 times. Grandma Helen's final message. Gently pour oil on the fire. I stared at the rocket's nose cone, gleaming under the nightlight. Finally, Thanksgiving Eve arrived. The house swelled with 40 bodies, neighbors in silly sweaters, George's golf buddies with beer guts, Eleanor's book club ladies with wine glasses. Folding tables stretched wall-to-wall under paper turkeys and LED candles. The aroma of turkey battled pumpkin spice for dominance. Leo clung to my leg by the entrance, his eyes darting at the chaos. George Brooks slapped backs and refilled drinks. Brooks' family tradition.
Är till you hate yourself.
Eleanor Brooks, in an apron with dancing pilgrims, flitted around, directing traffic, Plates here. Gravy boat here. Noah zipped between knees in a tiny blazer. Skylar twirled in a velvet dress with a huge bow. Grandma Helen held post by the cranberry sauce, ladle in hand, surveying like a general. I steered Leo to a corner table. He picked at the mashed potatoes, molded into a volcano. Ethan walked in late with Chloe Brooks on his arm. I hadn't seen her in months. She managed a strained smile, then dealt with kids' coats. Dinner began in waves. George carved the bird with theatrical flair, slipping thick slices to Noah first. Fuel for the air. Eleanor piled extra stuffing onto Skylar's plate. Growing girl needs seconds. Compliments rained down. Noah's stray days.
Skylar S. balle solo.
Leo gnawed on a roll, unnoticed. After dinner, the living room turned into an exhibition hall. George led Noah to his boss. The kid is already scoping out colleges. Eleanor showed Skylar's dance video on her phone to oohs and ahs. Leo tried to join a group of cousins playing cards. They shut him out. Ethan poured himself another drink, his face flushed. Chloe fussed over the dessert table, arranging pies. I caught Grandma Helen's eye. She raised an eyebrow, a subtle warning. The conversation shifted to family bloodlines. A neighbor asked about grandkids. George beamed. Noah and Skylar.
Pure Brooks legacy.
Eleanor nodded, carrying the name forward. Leo looked up from his rocket sketch, pencil frozen. Ethan slammed his glass down. The room quieted slightly. He swayed a little, his voice slurring. Speaking of family, he pointed across the room at Leo. This one isn't family. He's my sister's bastard. Silence crashed down. Forks froze. A wine glass slipped from Chloe's hand, shattering on the tile. She gasped, dropped to her knees, gathering shards. Her face scarlet. Leo's pencil snapped in his hand. I stood, my chair scraping. Ethan, he cut me off louder. The truth stings, Audrey. Everyone knows Ryan's been gone 5 years. The math doesn't lie. Gasps went around the room. George's mouth opened and closed. Eleanor clutched her pearls. Grandma Helen's ladle clattered into the bowl. Noah tugged Ethan's sleeve, embarrassed. Skylar cried. Chloe rose, shards in her palm, blood oozing from a cut. Ethan, enough. She pulled the children toward the hallway, heels clicking rapidly. Noah resisted. Dad. Ethan ignored him. A neighbor muttered. Did he just say that? Another shushed. Phones appeared under tables. Leo looked at his broken pencil, face pale. I moved toward my son. Ethan blocked the way, stumbling. Admit it. The boy doesn't belong at this table. Chloe reappeared, yanking Ethan's arm. We are leaving. He shook her off. Not till she hears it. Grandma Helen stepped between us, her voice steel. You've said enough. Ethan laughed bitterly. Chloe dragged the kids out the front door, coats forgotten. Engine started. The room buzzed. Someone whispered, DNA test. Another, poor kid. George finally spoke weakly. Son, sit down. Ethan ignored him, grabbing more beer. Leo slipped out of his chair, unnoticed in the commotion. I reached for him, but it was too late. Then Leo climbed onto the sofa. He stood on the cushion, sneakers denting the fabric. His voice was quiet, but firm. Uncle Ethan told me a secret. He said, never tell. The room froze mid-whisper. 40 faces turned. Leo took a breath. His friend, Matt, wanted the same scholarship. Uncle got mad, gave Matt $50, told him, leave forever. He paused, looking at Ethan. 3 months later, Matt died, hit by a big truck. Ethan's beer slipped from his fingers, foaming on the rug. Shut up, he roared, his face turning blue. He lunged forward. George grabbed his arm. Son, sit down. Gasps erupted. A golf buddy gasped. He killed someone. Eleanor's hand flew to her mouth, eyes wide. Ethan. George's grip tightened, knuckles white. Grandma Helen stood statue still, phone aimed low. Leo continued, unwavering. Uncle said it was kid games. Burnt all the photos. A book club lady whispered. A cover-up. Phones rose higher. Someone started a live stream. Ethan broke free of George's grip, stumbling. It's a lie. The kid is making it up. His voice cracked. Leo shook his head. You told me yourself when we built the rocket. Said keep quiet, or... The gasp sharpened. A neighbor mumbled. Guilt talking. Another. Poor Matt. Eleanor swayed, grabbing a chair. George's face paled. Son, explain. Ethan pointed at Leo. He's twisting it all. Jealous little. He trailed off, realizing the hole he'd dug. Grandma Helen's eyes narrowed. Her finger tapped record. Leo's voice rose. You said the truck didn't see him at night. No lights. A cousin dropped her phone. That's manslaughter. Whispers turned to open talk. Call the police. Statute of limitations. Ethan backed into the wall, sweat dripping. I was 16. A stupid argument. Eleanor whimpered. My child. George let go, stepping back. What did you do? The room divided, half staring at Ethan, half at Leo. A child asked, Is Uncle in trouble? No answer came. Grandma Helen slipped her phone away, face grim. Leo jumped down, returning to his broken pencil. The silence stretched. Ethan was breathing hard. It was an accident. He walked away, but doubt hung in the air. Someone coughed. $50 to disappear. Another. And then dead. Ethan slid down the wall, head in his hands. George turned away. Eleanor sobbed into her apron. Grandma Helen broke the quiet. The truth always surfaces. She put a hand on Leo's shoulder. He leaned into her. Phones buzzed. Messages flew. Share video. Tag the news. Ethan lifted his head, eyes wild. Delete it.
Now.
No one moved. Leo whispered to me. I had to tell. I nodded, my throat burning. The secret was out. Ethan slumped in an armchair, shoulders slumped, hands shaking on his knees. And stunned silence hung in the room, broken only by the click of Chloe's heels returning through the archway. Noah trailed behind, rubbing his eyes. Skylar clutched a doll, her face tear-stained. Chloe's voice cut like glass. To the car.
Now.
Mom. Pumpkin pie? Noah protested. She grabbed their wrists. I said now. They vanished down the hallway. The front door slammed. Tires squealed. Ethan stared at his empty hands. All right, the full story. His voice trembled. 16 years old. Matt Belov, best friends since kindergarten. We both applied for the same engineering scholarship. $5,000 for tuition. He swallowed. The scores came back tied. They flipped a coin. I lost. Grandma Helen shifted toward the mantelpiece, phone subtly aimed at Ethan. The red recording light burned steady. She adjusted her glasses, silent. Ethan continued, his gaze vacant. I snapped, said he didn't deserve it, shoved the $50 I'd saved from my paper route into his fist and said, take it and get lost. Don't come back. He rubbed his temples. He walked away. Dark highway, rainy night. The truck couldn't stop. Corner said instant. George Brooks sank onto the piano bench. Face ashen. You carried that alone. Eleanor clutched the tablecloth, knuckles white as bone. Why didn't you ever tell your mother? A neighbor cleared his throat, heading for his coat. I think we'll be going. His wife nodded quickly, grabbing her purse. Another couple followed, muttering lovely dinner through tight lips. The exodus started slow, then became a flood. Ethan's words gained speed. The guilt crushed me. Nightmares. That's why I pushed Noah into every sport, every camp, trying to build something right. He laughed, bitter and broken. Pathetic substitute fatherhood. Grandma Helen hovered over the pause button for a second, but didn't press. She caught my eye, iron resolve. Tom, George's golf friend, paused at the door. Heavy stuff, Ethan. Praying for you. His wife whispered. The video's already on Facebook. Margaret from the book club nodded. The live stream hit 500 views. Coats rustled like dry leaves. Car keys jingled. The sideboard groaned under untouched pies. Pumpkin oozed, pecan glistened, apple slices dried. Whipped cream deflated into yellow puddles. No one reached for forks. Eleanor stood, reaching for Ethan. My boy. He recoiled. Don't. She backed away, weeping. George's voice was hollow. You poisoned your own holiday. Get out. Guest after guest slipped away. Mrs. Harrington from the church squeezed my hand. Leo is brave. The plumber muttered, some secrets kill families. The porch light clicked off. Engines rumbled. Gravel crunched under tires. Ethan leaned forward, elbows on his knees. I thought burying it would help. Photos in a backyard bonfire. Yearbook pages ripped out. Grandma Helen finally spoke. Voice low, steel. Fire doesn't erase blood. The living room was empty. Folding chairs stood vacant. Napkins lay on the floor. The turkey platter was cold under the foil. Leo clung to me, his thumb in his mouth. Reverted to 5 years old. The last of the guests, old Mr. Davies, closed the door with an echo. Silence consumed the house. Pies gathered dust. Candle flames flickered, forgotten. George stood, avoiding Ethan's gaze. You're sleeping in the garage apartment tonight. Eleanor sobbed into her sleeve. Ethan nodded, wordless. Grandma Helen collected plates, stacking them silently. Her phone vibrated. Message received. She glanced, nodded to herself. The hall mirror reflected the wreckage.
Smudzet lipstick, a krukitie, a steinetei pron.
The American Gothic portrait over the piano seemed to judge. Ethan drained his glass. I'll leave tomorrow. Clean break. No one answered. Leo yawned. I collected our coats. Grandma Helen packed leftovers into a container for my brave boy. We moved toward the door.
Ethan watched, extinguished. I'm sorry, could.
Leo didn't turn around. Gravel crunched under tires as we pulled away. Holiday lights blurred. The house shrank in the rearview mirror. Pies rotted inside. The next morning, Chloe's text lit up my phone. We're done coming over. For good.
No emoji, no explanation.
I stared at the screen until it went dark. Leo patted in, hair messy. Mom, is Aunt Chloe mad at me? I pulled him close. Not at you, sweetie. By noon, the internet exploded. Screenshots of the recording. Grandma Helen's upload topped the feed. Local developer confesses to teenage hit-and-run cover-up. Comments poured in. Cancel him. Boycott Brooks Construction. Ethan's business page was swamped with 1-star reviews. A major renovation client emailed. Contract terminated. Immediately. Reputation matters. Ethan called twice. I hung up. A third time voicemail. Audrey, fix this. Tell them it's old news. I blocked the number. George and Eleanor's calls too. Silence. Chloe filed for divorce that same afternoon. Papers served at Ethan's office. Public humiliation complete. Noah's school friends whispered. Parents at Skylar's dance class pulled her out of group photos. Chloe texted again. Custody hearing next month. Keep Leo out of this mess. George and Eleanor closed ranks. George posted on social media. Proud of my son for facing his mistakes. Family sticks together. Eleanor commented with hearts under every defense. They took Ethan into the main house, the garage apartment abandoned. Meals were delivered on trays. Excuses made. Boys will be boys. Ancient history. Grandma Helen called from their kitchen phone. Family is a choice, not blood. Her voice was firm. You chose Leo. Hold the line.
Click.
Leo asked to delete his uncle's contact. I gave him the phone. He pressed block, small finger firm. Boundaries, Mom? I nodded, throat tight. Ethan lost 2 more contracts by evening. Suppliers went dark. The bank froze his credit line pending a reputational investigation. Chloe moved into her sister's basement. Kids enrolled in new schools across town. I took Leo to therapy. At the first session, he spoke the truth. Why is everyone so mad? The therapist explained, consequences aren't punishment. Leo drew the rocket, flying away from the collapsing house. He labeled it freedom. George emailed, come over, apologize. Heal the family. I archived it. Eleanor sent cookies by mail. Return to sender. Grandma Helen forwarded the recording to an Unsolved Cases podcast. Downloads hit 10,000 overnight. Leo set phone rules. No calls from grandpa or grandma, unless it's an emergency. He practiced saying "I'm busy" in the mirror. Confidence grew. Ethan's truck vanished from the driveway. Rumor: sold to pay lawyer fees. Chloe auctioned off the wedding china. Proceeds went to Matt's memorial fund and a new scholarship in his name. Leo launched the rocket alone in an empty field. Video captioned: secrets weigh nothing in the sky. Views surpassed the confession clip. I changed the locks. New traditions. Friday movie nights. No extended family. Leo chooses the movies. Boundaries became our superpower. Grandma Helen visited once. Brownies in hand. Proud of both of you. She left a voicemail for Ethan he didn't hear. Family redefined. 2 plates at dinner. 1 rocket in the closet. 0 tolerance for poison. Thank you for listening to the story until the end. Don't forget to leave your opinion about this story, subscribe to the Unbelievable But True channel, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. This motivates us to continue working on new stories. Don't miss the next amazing story that is about to appear on your screen. We are very grateful to you for being with us. In the description below this video, you can open a catalog of all the stories. See you soon!